Okay, I'm alive somehow. I just got back home and instantly got in the bathtub, which I already had full of cold water because that's how I'm surviving this heat wave. I fill the tub in the morning, and by the time it's really hot in the apartment, the water is still cold, and I could just submerge myself for a little bit and cool down and deal with it a little longer. I wasn't expecting things to go south as quickly as they did today. I don't do well with heat, and I don't know if it's because I stay dehydrated or if I'm just super sensitive to heat. My medication has on the label to avoid direct sunlight, so that could also be a problem. But a lot of times when I try to do just about anything, if it's hot out, I will easily just get taken down. And what happened today, I had to go and turn in my paperwork for my housing. It's a yearly thing. It's just to get the recertification done, and it was due today, so I had to go today. I was trying to put it off until the heat wave passed because today was the date that it was due, but the heat wave was supposed to be over yesterday. It was supposed to be cooler today. That's why I didn't take it in yesterday. So it wasn't any cooler today, and by the time I got there, I was sweating, I was shaking, I was dry heaving, and I felt like I was going to shit myself. But thankfully, same as with the dry heaving, there's nothing to come out. Which, let me tell y'all, is the most frustrating thing. I don't know if you often feel the need to pass out, but just before passing out, you feel an intense need to shit, even if there's nothing there. And it's very upsetting internally, because in your mind you're thinking, I feel like crap, and now I'm going to shit myself. And if I pass out, people are going to find me in my own shit. It's not a fun situation. And so I dropped off the paperwork and then I sat down right there at the housing authority for a few minutes. And I tried to compose myself. But I didn't have any money to get a drink. And I didn't take one with me because everything I have here, it kind of has to, I need it here. Like, I've got a 2 liter of soda that I'm drinking on right now. I didn't want to carry the entire 2 liter with me all day. So I just left it here. And I can't afford to get a smaller one right now because my funds don't come in until next week. So I sat there for a few minutes and I started feeling a little stronger. And I got up and moved again. And like about a block later, I was down again. And I just laid down on a sidewalk and started dry heaving and throwing up big globs of phlegm. And after about probably 15 minutes of laying here on this sidewalk like this, a homeless man walked over and asked if I was okay. And I said, I don't think I am. I think it's the heat. And he could tell because, as y'all saw in the last video, my face was blood red. So he first gave me the last of his soda, which had a couple of sips in it, and I thanked him, and it helped me. Like, instantly, the soda helped. I felt 100 times better after having just the slightest amount of sugar and liquid in my body. And he walked away, but he walked back. He didn't feel right leaving me on the sidewalk in the state I was in, which is very sweet of him because people were walking back and forth constantly with me laying there like that. People were driving back and forth constantly with me laying like that. And nobody was stopping to ask me if I was okay because this is how it is in Los Angeles. Most people would have assumed I was a drug addict or an alcoholic, and whatever I was dealing with, I must have put myself in that position. So it's best to just keep moving. Which I guess is kind of fair. I have put myself in this condition. I don't take care of myself accurately. Anyways, so he sat with me for a few minutes and we talked. and he noticed that there was a water delivery truck parked kind of close to us. And he walked over and he asked the driver if he had any spare water. And he pointed over at me and he said, I think she's having a heat stroke. And the driver gave him an entire case of water to help me. So he comes walking back over with his case and pulls one out for me and pulls one out for him. And he sat there with me as I sit down the first one and then threw up the first one and started sitting down the second one. But it started to settle and I started to feel more stable. And I was able to get to the bus stop where I was able to get a free ride on the bus to get all the way home. I got home, the first thing I did was jump in the tub. I wasn't even fully undressed yet. I had to take my shoes off while in the tub. They're waterproof, it's fine. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing great. I genuinely feel like I would have died out there today if that man had not stopped and helped me. And I know every time I have these episodes, because I have episodes like this happens to me. This has happened to me at the library. This has happened to me at the grocery store. If I exert myself slightly too far, my body will just go into overdrive and I'll start puking and fainting and shitting everywhere. And so I knew when it was happening that a lot of the fear I was feeling was just panic, because I always get that panic. But it doesn't, even telling yourself you're panicking because your body's freaking out. It's just it's just the panic that comes with passing out. It doesn't help to actually make you feel better. Like, knowing what's happening, it doesn't actually make it easier to deal with it. And I have to find somewhere where I can just stop this from happening, but I don't know. The only thing that I've had that helped it, honestly, was when I was on the prednisone. Because for that week that I was on prednisone, I could do anything without my body getting upset with me. Now, I can barely get out of bed when it's hot without feeling like I'm just going to go straight to the floor.